In the information age, each of us, every day, can access an amount of information hundreds, even thousands or tens of thousands of times greater than our ancestors. But have you noticed the depth of thought in modern people is far inferior to that of the ancients? Those capable of independent thinking make up less than 5%. Why is that? Because despite the vast amount of information we encounter daily, most of what we see is, in reality, only what others want us to see. This leads to more and more people believing in illusions, living their entire lives with minds filled with fake nourishment. I know, your life is very busy. Even so, the things I'm saying are not easy to absorb, especially difficult to master. If you only listen once, my advice is to watch until the end. Listen repeatedly. When you're free or doing household chores, share and save this playlist for your convenience. I'm certain that within a few short months, your thinking will advance dramatically, reaching a new height. Ancient wisdom, greetings to you all. The fundamental difference between the awakened and those who are fast asleep lies in the ability to see through the basic laws of this world. When you awaken and realize, you will understand that this world operates under two sets of rules. In this world, what you hear and see is, in reality, a series of traps. This world is built on two sets of rules. The first set is morality and righteousness, solemn and magnificent, freely discussed in public. The second set is pragmatic, enabling you to settle down and establish a career, but it should only be discussed in private groups, not openly spread. The morality of the first system is merely a formality, while the benefits of the second system are the true essence. The knowledge we are exposed to from childhood to adulthood is mostly the formal rules of the first system. Humans, however, always calculate benefits in their hearts. That is the rule of benefits in the second system. The skilled are those who use the first system as a tool to achieve the goals of the second system. Almost everyone dons a glittering cloak of morality, then finds every way to gain personal benefits. Moral rules, everyone speaks of them. Benefit rules, everyone keeps them in their hearts. Therefore, never let the first system blind you. Instead, use the second system to see through things. For example, we cannot just look at what a person says, but at what they do. The first system is merely a trap. You cannot treat it as a method to settle down, succeed, or become famous. If you want to understand someone's behavior, you must analyze it based on the second system. That is the method of benefit analysis. Benefits are the primary reason guiding human actions. The method of benefit analysis will never become outdated. For instance, here's an incident that happened near me. Once my friends and I went on a trip far away. Since we brought a lot of luggage and were unfamiliar with the place, in the hotel lobby, my friend secretly gave the luggage porter 500,000 VND as a tip. After that, for several days, that staff member was very enthusiastic toward us, arranging everything from travel itineraries to luggage with great care. Later, he said that if you want someone's help, you must first understand what you can offer them. Between strangers, apart from benefits, there can be no other relationship. Money is the best expression. Well, 500,000 VND isn't much, but it's far more effective than saying 10 nice-sounding sentences or pretending to be friendly. This is the method of benefit analysis. Many people approach you with clear intentions. They know what they want, but they never think about what they can offer others. Before you want to receive, you need to carefully consider what you can give to others. Are your benefits what others need? Are they unique? The world of adults requires understanding four words: value exchange. If the second system's benefits don't take shape, you will forever rely only on the first system. The moral and righteous relationship between two parties is merely superficial courtesy. History progresses ceaselessly, but the rules remain unchanged. The world develops rapidly, yet human nature does not change. Avoiding harm is human instinct. Benefits are the most important reason guiding human actions. Because the second system can only be acted upon, not spoken of, the world's operation is maintained by these two sets of rules. The first system is perhaps like the etiquette between two people, a kind of human politeness. Sometimes When we chat with others, we know we're talking nonsense and you know the other person is lying. We both know we're being superficial. Everyone understands this, and thus, the first system is formed. No matter how humanity evolves, we still need to follow the first system to avoid appearing too pragmatic. Like Confucius, in his time, Gui Guzi was extraordinarily talented, but why wasn't he celebrated like Confucius? Because his theories spoke of the second system, suitable only for use, not for public proclamation. There's a saying that true maturity is seeing through but not speaking through, referring to the second system. You can only use it, but you absolutely shouldn't say it. Once you say it, you're wrong. In this world, those who speak the truth often seem like petty people, while many petty people try to disguise themselves as gentlemen. How do you quickly upgrade yourself? This is an immediately effective method. Whoever can learn and apply, it will instantly achieve a new level of elevation. This system is something you won't hear elsewhere. It is divided into 3 levels. Ordinary people, but far superior, have only grasped some surface aspects of the first level, and that's already higher than the vast majority. But to understand the second and third levels requires intuition and destiny. I'll try to explain as concisely as possible. See how much you can grasp. The first level is the awareness of most talented people around us. They understand very clearly that this world is illusory, but controls the real. The unseen controls the visible. The reason ordinary people struggle to break through is that they live only in the world of appearances, limited by what their eyes see and ears hear. They mistake appearances for reality. For example, today, someone is kind to them, and they think that person is good. Tomorrow, that person isn't kind anymore, and they think that person is bad. One-dimensional, shallow perception is just that. In the information age, each of us, every day, can access an amount of information hundreds, even thousands or tens of thousands of times greater than our ancestors. But have you noticed the depth of thought in modern people is far inferior to that of the ancients? Those capable of independent thinking make up less than 5%. Why is that? Because despite the vast amount of information we encounter daily, most of what we see is, in reality, only what others want us to see. This leads to more and more people believing in illusions, living their entire lives with minds filled with fake nourishment. So why can masters succeed at anything? Very simple. They don't look at the surface, seeking answers only in the laws, principles, human nature, and a way of heaven that most people overlook. They build a God's perspective, standing from the angle of emotions, benefits, past, present, and future of each person to predict outcomes. How could it not be accurate? Masters also rarely suffer because they understand that existence is reasonable. Thus, any appearance, change, or disappearance is normal, because cycles are normal. The only difference is the length of time. Whoever understands this will have a soul so strong it's nearly invincible. Ordinary people, hearing this is enough, because what I'm about to say next, they surely won't understand. The second level, those who can grasp it can become saints, because it contradicts the perception of ordinary people. The entire universe is a manifestation of energy, including you and me. Every thought, every gesture of ours is a frequency. Frequency has no positive or negative, only high or low. High energy affects low energy. The stronger the belief, the more it makes people feel beautiful and comfortable, the more it can influence others. The more people resonate with your frequency, the easier it is for you to succeed. Thus, success is not an issue. At the same time, this world, in reality, has no existence of time and space. The changes we perceive as time flowing are, in fact, just various changes, and all changes are fated. Those who can grasp this fate, those who are clear about the way of heaven, are prophets, mathematicians, or those who can do anything. This is only the second level, and only those who understand it can enter the third level. I'll continue with the third level. However, note that the following, without advanced perception, cannot be understood. First, everyone in the world is you. There is no one else but you. Every change is a struggle, a tug of war, a confrontation between you and yourself. Buddha is you, demons are you, beasts are you, people are you. The ultimate goal is for you to realize all this and reconcile with yourself. Second, the essence of the world has no good or bad, no beauty or ugliness, no standards at all. Everything is natural. I am the universe. The universe is me. Third, all forms are illusions. The more you desire something, the more you lack it, because the degree of mortals is to stay away from the space of chaotic dreams. Can one achieve nirvana? Those who have everything cannot lack anything. If you stand before my previous words about Wang Yangming, a brilliant politician, philosopher, and thinker of the Ming Dynasty in Chinese history, he, in fact, discovered the influence of something akin to the subconscious in human thought on their actions. He believed that if you can understand the truth, change will happen instantly, and the current circumstances can change immediately. However, most people who read about unity of knowledge and action misunderstand it. What did Wang Yangming say? He spoke of the subconscious, or in other words, a kind of feeling. He didn't talk about the kind of knowledge you gain from reading books or listening to my content. This kind of knowledge must be understood. The true knowledge he spoke of is like driving a car while talking on the phone, or knowing how to ride a bike while listening to music without going through a thought process. It is spontaneous. Between knowledge and action, there is no time gap. Like when you smell something foul, you instantly feel disgusted. You feel disgusted the moment you smell it, not after smelling it and then thinking about being disgusted. For example, when you see a handsome or beautiful person, you like them instantly, not after seeing them and then thinking about liking them. Unity of knowledge and action is not a method, not telling you to do what you know, nor telling you to unify knowledge and mind. Wang Yangming was describing a state that these two are two sides of the same thing. Like a person's face, when it appears, it surely has both the left and right sides. Like when something pierces you, the act of being pierced and the feeling of pain are inseparable, two sides of the same thing. These are the basics. If you can understand this, I'll continue with deeper matters. For example, at night, your brain knows you should sleep, but the subconscious, the true knowledge, will resist and want to stay up a bit longer to satisfy you. In the end, you'll find that the brain has no decision-making power, but the subconscious, the true knowledge, is the master. As a result, you'll go to bed very late. Or, when you want to go jogging, the subconscious will instantly create feelings of fatigue, boredom, and the pain of perseverance. These perceptions will cause jogging to be postponed. Remember, anyone, right now, at this moment, is in a state of unity of knowledge and action. Your actions can only be expressions of the subconscious. This sentence must be remembered. It relates to what follows. The subconscious is the knowledge Wang Yangming spoke of. Of course, the subconscious I use here is just an approximate concept to help people understand. In reality, this belongs to the Alaya consciousness in Buddhism. It governs the ego consciousness of each person, the seventh consciousness, beyond the six consciousnesses of eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind. The mind in the six consciousnesses is the knowledge we usually understand, like knowing smoking is harmful, knowing waking up early is good for the body, knowing to exercise and read more. However, this mind is influenced by the Alaya consciousness and cannot decide anything on its own. The Alaya consciousness governs the ego consciousness of humans, which are the tendencies of anger, ignorance, arrogance, and doubt. Thus, Wang Yangming said, "There is good, there is evil, the movement of intention. Knowing good, knowing evil is the conscience." The first sentence speaks of individual distinctions creating the ego form of each person, from which good and evil forms arise. The second sentence says that you must let the seventh consciousness, the Alaya consciousness, truly know what is good and what is evil. That is the conscience. Wang Yangming, a renowned thinker in the Mid-Ming dynasty, grasped the truth of life and created the ultimate secret method to purify the soul. Wang Yangming believed that in each person's life, we will encounter many complex problems. We seem busy with countless tasks every day, but in the end, all we deal with are our own emotions and feelings. For example, during the Lunar New Year, returning home for a reunion, everyone drives a Mercedes or BMW, while you drive an old car bought for 100 million VND. They keep implying that your car is unsafe, the engine is weak, the interior is poor, and the car's logo isn't prestigious. At this moment, what will you think? But if we change the context, suppose you're driving a luxurious car worth billions, how would you feel? Exactly, the problem lies here. Clearly, the reunion is still the same reunion. The people talking are still the same people. But why does your mood change so drastically in two different contexts? If you can understand this clearly, you will achieve true change. In reality, apart from the feelings brought by birth, aging, sickness, and death, which are real, all that you feel, joy, sadness, hatred, envy, greed, are merely reflections of your own mental state. All emotions do not exist objectively. They all stem from delusions and activities outside the original mind of humans. The material world outside is only one, but in each person's heart, there is a small world of their own, and each world is different. This is the meaning of Wang Yangming's saying, "The mind has no objects. The ocean is the ocean. It doesn't represent vastness. The moon is the moon. It doesn't represent longing." All definitions are created by humans. Someone said, "The fragrance of plum blossoms comes from bitter cold." But the fragrance of plum blossoms is simply because they are plum blossoms. Without the bitter cold, plum blossoms would no longer be plum blossoms. Exactly. If you can see through the essence of things, you can easily navigate between different emotions without being bound by human barriers. At this point, you will become an invincible existence, able to communicate with everyone and handle all matters. After his enlightenment at Longchang, Wang Yangming deeply understood the truth of life. It was an awakening after thorough contemplation. He believed that the attitude of the soul determines behavior. Hence, the saying, unity of knowledge and action. Looking at the meaning of the word intention, it's not hard to understand. For example, when parents grow old, children naturally know they must be filial. That is knowledge. The actions and expressions of filial piety toward parents are action. These two are a unified whole, not that one disappears for the other to exist. However, truly understanding these four words is, I'm afraid, not so simple. In essence, the human mind has no good or evil. But once a thought arises, there is good and evil. After his Longchang enlightenment, Wang Yangming increasingly believed that the mind has no mistakes. Having no errors in the heart is the highest truth. There's no need to seek outside. It can be found within the heart itself. He believed the mind is one. There's no need to distinguish between the human mind and the moral mind. Simply cultivate the mind, eliminate evil thoughts, and preserve heavenly principles. Our mind is the source of all meaning. Everything will naturally manifest, but whether it disturbs my mind or not is up to me. Even if the heavens collapse and floods engulf the earth, as long as my heart is at peace, this world will forever be stable. All problems of the mind, in the end, are merely problems of the mental state. No matter how sinister the affairs of the world, as long as my heart remains unmoved, nothing can harm me, nor can any of my thoughts be swayed. This is the power of Wang Yangming's mind study. Your subconscious is controlling your life, but you call it fate. In the above, we said that Wang Yangming truly discovered something like the subconscious in human thought, something that influences their actions. What he said, if truly understood, will instantly create changes, transform the current circumstances, and welcome each person's destiny. In this section, we'll go deeper. Whether you can understand depends on your destiny. Note that my content is only suitable for a small group of people. Those with crowd mentality, quickly go watch videos of handsome guys and beautiful girls. Don't waste your time. Think about it. When Wang Yangming lay in his study at Longchang, he thought, I've thought so much in my life, but I still haven't succeeded. On the contrary, I've put myself in this situation. Then he decided not to think anymore, but to change his position. If I were a sage, what would I do? He no longer thought about how to cultivate to become a sage, but directly acted according to the direction and standards of the sage he knew. He began to ignore the thoughts and emotions in his head, directly acting and imitating. The result, as everyone knows, he began to transform completely. At first glance, it seems simple, but in reality, it's extremely difficult. I'll analyze it for everyone to understand. Because we're discussing the issue of the mind, all our actions must stem from the subconscious. Human behavior cannot escape the control of the subconscious. Wang Yangming bypassed this and directly cut out the process. This is a bridge-crossing style of play. There's a key point that can help everyone understand this mind method. Today, I'll share it with you. You can imagine your life as a character in a game. A character, who is it? This character, in the game world, no matter what he thinks, does, or decides, has been created by the real player behind him. He has preset attributes. This means that no matter what character A thinks, does, or decides, it's not his real decision. However, from his perspective, it's his own decision. But in reality, he can never surpass the limits of his preset mindset. In other words, today, he will definitely think this way. Today, he will definitely act this way. This was Wang Yangming's problem back then, and it's our problem now. He realized that no matter how he investigated things, thought, or cultivated, he was still just that character A. The attributes of this character A could only be like that. For example, let's call it attribute A. He wanted to break through to change the attack stats, the magic stats of this character, but he couldn't change them because he was only the program executing those parameters. In other words, each of us is the program executing our own parameters, unable to change parameters through thinking. But at this point, if there's a character AB who executes the parameters of a sage, meaning his attack stats, magic stats, are far higher than those of Wang Yangming's character, the way Wang Yangming broke the deadlock was, whatever B does, I do. If all my actions are like B's, then am I not B? Why cultivate the mind anymore? Why investigate things anymore? This instantly broke through his execution program. Breaking the deadlock, he endured psychological discomfort, ignoring everything. When he followed B's actions, surely his feelings were extremely uncomfortable, because execution is a unified whole. When he performed those imitative actions, the actions themselves were not something character A's parameters could achieve. So, he definitely felt uneasy. But on the contrary, after he did this, he was no longer himself. This is the way to break through cognitive parameters through behavior. Because knowledge and action are the yin and yang sides of one thing. Change the knowledge of the subconscious, and action changes accordingly. This is what Wang Yangming truly meant, and it's the specific implementation path. The human thought process is from senses to the brain, then from the brain to knowledge. And Wang Yangming spoke of the subconscious. The knowledge of the subconscious manifests as action, because they're a unified whole. Normally, we only rely on the consciousness at the brain level, the six consciousness, including eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind to understand things. This is completely useless. We need to train to change the subconscious to change actions. But because the subconscious cannot break through its own mindset settings, we must change the subconscious's knowledge through reverse behavior. Your subconscious is controlling your life, but you call it fate. Thus, Wang Yangming's mind method is, in essence, a way to change fate. Therefore, when he broke through the parameters and changed his fate, he inevitably became like Zhuangzi, Zen Buddhism, or Taoism, realizing the origin of the world. Mind and matter are one. All things are a unified whole, understanding the operational laws of the entire world. This content is quite difficult. If you don't understand, or what you're thinking now isn't what I'm trying to convey, that's normal. Take it slowly. When you truly understand, mind study is the ultimate cheat code in life. Anything you do becomes as simple as eating, sleeping, or breathing. Whatever you want to let go of, you let go. Whatever you want to pick up, you pick up.